याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा तेरी याद 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 तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी याद 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 तेरी याद
Hey, welcome everyone to MLB Dfs pre-lock live for Saturday afternoon, even though it's not pre-lock. Kind of a typical Saturday. It's a weird slate. We got early slate is what, 6 games?
Seven.
It's 7. Okay, main slate is 6. And actually, I didn't even tell you, Mike, I'm actually not solo today. I'm so used to being solo on this show that I actually have a guest today. My man Wes is here, usually my weekend co-host. So actually, to be a better show today, we'll have more than just my input and my 2 cents. So what's up, Wes? How'd your week go? What else is going on?
Man, week's gone well. Man, we're gonna knock this show out, then head to Nashville for some sub-state soccer. Maybe my kid can impress today.
So what, is this do or die? Is this do or die today now for you guys? The season's over, or if they lose?
Yeah, it's the last game before the state tournament. If we win, we're in. If we lose, we're out. It's gonna be a tough one.
Said you never know. I mean, I was saying off here, flag football is huge now in Florida for girls, and my daughters were in really small school, and they beat one of the number 1 teams in the state actually in the playoffs. So anything can happen. Actually, I saw girls flag is going to scholarship next year for NCAA, especially down here in Florida. So it's becoming a big deal. So anybody that's got daughters that are athletic, flag football is huge now down here. I mean, huge people at the game. So now you're getting scholarships. So high school sports is awesome.
Yep.
But we're talking MLB today. So we'll get back into it. We're not going to deal with the early slate. We're going to deal with the main slate. The early slate may actually be better, but not sure, especially pitching, but we'll have to get through this. It's, like I said, it's 6 games. Looking at weather, actually, I don't see any weather for tonight. The only thing is in San Francisco is wind, and that wind is blowing out. Yeah, San Francisco is obviously a pitcher's park, but we got 20-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. So that's like the only kind of an even weather issue, which San Francisco usually a pitcher's park. It wouldn't be a huge impact, but it's going to be making it a little bit better for the hitters, as we'll get into all that too. So no weather. Going to Vegas on this slate, no Coors, but we have Coors South. Mini Coors Stadium down here in Dunedin. This is the second to last game, I believe, that they're playing here before they go up to Buffalo for Toronto. And we look for another slugfest tonight. Even with Glasnow pitching last night, it ended up being a huge game. Glasnow got hit up, but the Rays are the only team above five implied. They're sitting at 5 because they're going against Kid McClanahan for Tampa, who's actually not a good prospect, hard thrower. But the ball, if they get the ball up in the air down here in this 90-degree heat, the ball is going to go out. So they're sitting there at 5. Then we have Boston at 4.8 going up against Philadelphia. And then a couple teams at 4.6, Tampa and Oakland. And then everybody else around the 4. So we'll get into that. The main thing today is going to be pitching. We really don't have any projections yet for ownership. Our cheat sheet isn't out yet for the main slate,
Yeah,
but we'll.
we got an updated cheat sheet for right now.
Oh, we do. Okay. All right. So as long as you have that, so I'll follow along with you on that. We'll go by position by position. Just let me know if anybody is carrying any heavy ownership. So why don't we let's start me out with pitching? What do we got for pitching here then?
All right, right now we got two guys at close to 40. One's a little over, one's a little under. We got Robbie Ray at 42, and then Walker Bueller at 39, and then Ryan Weathers and Alzolay at 25 each. Those are the top ownerships right now.
All right. So let's get Bueller out of the way. Bueller's your SP1. I don't understand why. Of course, projections are going to change as the day goes on. You want to check back at 6 and also before lock, before 7. But in my opinion, Walker Bueller should be 65% owned tonight. He's the only safe pitcher on the slate. He's actually kind of a rough start, but he's back to his normal self. His strikeout rate is back up there, 3.28 xFIP, 28% K rate. The main thing is his strikeouts, his walks, which is only 4%, 8 starts. So, Bueller is the play. Yeah, the Giants have been a little pesky this year. They're not a bad hitting team, and maybe we're saying the wind is blowing out, but I don't care about that. Bueller, there's nobody even close to Bueller for me for SP1. You agree? Disagree?
I agree, and you can tell by the pricing. There is $1,500 to the next closest pitcher tonight. He's far and away the number one on the slate. The number two is going to be right now. It's Robbie Ray. I don't know that I'm all in on that. The way that Tampa has actually been hitting the ball lately, but Walker Bueller is 11K, and by far he's the only one on the slate deserving of something like that.
And to get Robbie Ray and get him out of the way. Is Robbie Ray having a decent season? Yeah, he's having a good season. He's probably having the best season he's had since when he was actually a near elite pitcher a few years ago. He's looking at 3.63 xFIP. K rate is near 29%. Still getting hit hard though, 40% hard contact, which I don't like. And he's going to a game in Dunedin down here with the Heat. There's absolutely no way am I playing him. Now, my opinion and my feelings may change as the day goes on, but right now, after seeing what they did to Glasnow last night down here, Robbie Ray is not Tyler Glasnow. This is, to me, it's just like going to Coors right now. Probably even more of a hitter's park than Coors. There's more home runs going out of here. To me, Robbie, maybe it's good that Robbie Ray's gonna be high honed, because then I'll go another way. I just don't see him being an SP2. There's no way in this part. And on his end, Tampa does struggle against lefties. Really, Zunino and Arozarena is probably the only big bats you really want to take. Maybe Mike Brichot, whatever. But man, I can't mess with Robbie Ray down here the way the ball's flying out of here. So, and some of them other guys who I'm actually looking at for an SP2, and there's no one is safe. There's not a pitcher here that's safe. I think Chris Bassett's a decent real life pitcher, but I was going through some of the metrics, and I was looking at Nathan. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but Nathan Eovaldi today against Philadelphia, and mainly because the Philly lineup without JT Realmuto, there's only one batter in that whole lineup that's got over a 119 ISO, and that's Harper, who actually crushes righties. 295 ISO, 425 WOBA, but there isn't one batter this season that's got a ISO above 119, and same with WOBA. There's nobody over 260 beside Harper and Jan Segura. So, and Eovaldi is not having that bad. His xFIP is 3.84, which is good. K rate 22.5, which is mediocre, but it's not horrible. Decent walk rate 5.3. He's a ground ball pitcher. He doesn't let the ball get up in the air. He only has 25% fly ball rate. He can give a little hard contact, 33%. But right now, I think Nathan Eovaldi is the safest pitcher out of that whole bunch. That's my opinion.
That's not a bad call. Because Philadelphia, they're boom or bust pretty much. They either do real good or real bad.
I know some people looking at Bassett. He's got 25% K rate, probably a little bit better K rate than Eovaldi. But still, the Angels' offense with Walsh and Ohtani still scares me. You know they don't have Trout. I had a feeling you may see Bassett as one of the higher owned pitchers beside Bueller. But they're the two guys I'm looking at, Eovaldi and Bueller. These other guys, so I guess Dylan Bundy is starting for Los Angeles tonight. Earlier, I had Sandoval, but he's just getting smoked this year. He's 0-5, 6.02 ERA. We know he's got the talent. He's pitched well in his career. He's gonna turn it around. He's gonna be some positive regression. But I just can't. Looking at his numbers for this year, I can't tout him as a cash play. What's your thoughts on this Alzolay kid? You're a Cubs guy. That was the only other guy I'm looking at.
Well, the Cardinals haven't seen him much. I was trying to find some stats on that. There's only been 20 at bats from the guys that are projected in the Cardinals lineup, and he's got, I think it was 7 Ks in those 20 at bats. That's not a lot of BVP, but his one time out against the Cardinals, 7 strikeouts in versus 20 batters. So, and nobody hit a home run, a couple of walks. The Cardinals lineup with Arenado in it's much different than the one that he faced before. But he's a good GPP play. He's got good strikeout upside.
Definitely, I see he's got 28% strikeout rate this year. Hard contact is nice as low, 29.8, 5% walk. I do see that they're not they're not letting him go too deep. He hasn't gone over 94 pitches. So to me, I think it's a good GBP play. He's going to be lower owned. I think he's definitely a play you can use for GBPs. The Cardinals, they got Miles Michaelis going today. Now he hasn't thrown a ball since 2019, so that's I'm leaning a little bit more on the Cubs today, especially for GBPs. And the Cubs are hot. Anybody else out there? McClanahan for Tampa, we already mentioned. Great prospect, throws hard, but once again, I can't touch him in Dunedin. We don't know who's going to be the Padres. It's either going to be Lamet or Weathers, more of a bullpen game. And then it gets to the Giants today, who I can't even believe. I thought he's been retired for 3 or 4 years. Scott Kazmir may actually start today for San Francisco. I remember watching Scott Kazmir in Binghamton, New York, when he was a stud prospect for the Mets, and that's going back to had to be the mid-'90s. Remember, he was a big stud at one point. Then he had a lot of surgeries, a lot of injuries. But man, just Scott Kazmir maybe going against his Dodger team tonight, which I think that's my stack of the day. And if it's gonna be a bullpen game, if not him, there's somebody else pitching too that hasn't thrown a pitch yet this year. Who's the other guy going for the Giants? There's 3 guys that the Giants I think are going to throw today. Kazmir, I just drew a complete blank on their other pitcher, but the other guy hasn't thrown a pitch yet at all this season either. So the Dodgers are going to roll today.
Yeah,
so
I agree with you there.
So the way I'm looking at it, right now, like the game, if the slate was going to lock, I'm just going to roll Bueller and maybe take a chance on Nathan Eovaldi. I'm going to dig on more later on, especially as lineups come out and see what lineups look like. But like I said, I just think Ray's tough to play down here. To me, it's just too much risk. But once again, if you see ownership projections come out at 7:15, and we're looking at Ray for some reason being 60%, you may have to run them because, I don't know, to me it's just bad chalk. And some of these other guys, everybody's got some kind of a wart that's going to, that doesn't make them safe. I just think Eovaldi may be the safest going against this Philly team that's really been struggling right now against that side of the plate. All right, let's go around the bases, see who we got for each position, starting with catcher. My top plays are going to be out actually after the show. This show is going to run on demand for the rest of the day before lock. But starting with catcher, probably going to be a pay down day. There's nobody I really love. I like Mike Zunino down here in Dunedin. Ray's a fly ball pitcher, and Dunedin's is shown he's crushing righties. 458 WOBA, 486 ISO against a pitcher like Ray, 52% fly ball, 47% hard contact. That all adds up to a home run to me for Zunino. He's boomer bust though. He's either going to home run or strikeout.
Yeah. The ownership play right now is Will Smith at almost is 20, a little over 23%. Then you got Tom Murphy and Andrew Knapp at 15, and then your guy Zunino is down there around 5. But all this is going to change throughout the day. But right now, Will Smith's the highest owned.
And I definitely get the Will Smith. And I guess if we have the money with Bueller and your SP2 is going to be a little bit cheaper anyways. I mean, Smith does. He's shown he's a reverse split hitter. And Matt Weissler, that's the other pitcher is Weissler, Casimir. One of those two guys are going, or both of them, I guess, are going today. And there's going to be a third one too. But definitely Will Smith. 286 ISO, 439 WOBA, can definitely crush his righties on a reverse split. I think he actually hits righties better than lefties. Puts the ball in the air 44%. So, yeah, he's in play if we have the money. Buster Posey, great GBP play if he starts. I mean, he's probably right. Look at the numbers. He's probably got the best numbers of all catchers today. 254 ISO, 426 WOBA. But, of course, you're going to be using Bueller probably in cash. You got Posey's more of a GBP play if he plays. And anybody else here, I'm looking at maybe like if Danny Jansen gets a start in Tampa because of that. Tom Murphy, I was looking at him also because he has one of the highest ISOs against lefties, 298. But then I started digging more into what he's done. And the kid's hitting 130. And he hasn't had a hit in his last, 3 games. 3 games ago against Detroit, he had a home run. So, but I don't know. I mean, Tom Murphy at 2.6, I would probably rather take a chance on a guy like Jansen who may lose one down here in Florida.
Yeah, I agree with you. The only other guy probably at catcher, yeah, I mean, if you're going to pay up, it'd be Wilson Contreras. I mean, it looks like they've moved him down in the order, but he's been really hitting the ball this year.
I mean, I don't have his reverse splits in front of me, but once again, you're going against Michaelis. We have no idea what Michaelis is going to look like. So yeah, that's actually he's down to 4.5. So that's not a bad price to play for Contreras at 4.5. I don't mind to play. And I also have Austin Nola. You got the positive split against Justice Sheffield. He should be batting 6th. He's been hitting lefties. And one of their players, Christian Vasquez for the Red Sox, he's got 5 hits and a home run in his last 3 games. All games with double-digit fantasy points. So Vasquez is kind of a quiet play also.
Right.
I still think the pay-up's going to be Will Smith if you have the money. And then you can go down to a guy like Zunino. Zunino's a boom and bust guy, but it's a different atmosphere down here in this environment. Or maybe I don't mind a Contreras call at 4.5. That's a pretty decent price.
Yep.
All right, that's catcher. First base, usually a pay up. We do have some decent punts today, some values. What are we looking at? What do our projections tell us for first baseman? Anybody looking to be high owned?
First baseman, we've got one guy that's over 25%, Yandy Diaz at 29.7. Looks like they're going to bat him 4th. He's got the lefty-righty matchup tonight. And then below that, you get Pujols at 15. And Goldsmith's right there with him. And then Yoshi, Muncy, they're all right in that 10 to 15 area.
All right, so let's look at Yandy Diaz first. And I think he is projected to be cleaning up against Ray. He's got the positive platoon. He's just not hitting lefties though this year. He's got a 051 ISO. Hard hit's not bad, 43.5. I guess mainly the projections because of his price. What's his price? What's Diaz?
3.2.
Okay, 3.2. Here's my.
3.2.
Yeah, I mean it's like a Coors game. But if I'm going to go that low, I mean, you could possibly go down to either Yoshi or Pujols, either whoever's playing or both may be playing for the Dodgers in this bullpen game against the Giants. And both of these guys can still hit. Danny Santana, he had a home run last night. I thought Danny Santana was out of baseball. He had a home run last night. If he's leading off again tonight for the Red Sox, he's minimum. Rowdy Tellez may get the start today. Because it's a lefty, maybe not. But if Tellez can start possibly, and they're like the lower guys I'd maybe be looking at. But I'm looking at he's not 6K. He's dropped a little bit. Is Vlad now? He's only 5'7" now. Okay, maybe he doesn't have the. I mean, McClanahan can be hit. He also may strike you out. But you look at Vlad's logs. 6 out of his last 7 games are double-digit fantasy points. The kid's hitting 340, 13 homers, 36 ribbies. He just keeps on hitting. To me, Vlad's the play down here against the rookie. If you have the money, I mean, I'd rather play Vlad than Yanni Diaz in that same game. I like him. Another guy we play a lot, Jared Walsh. Jared Walsh is hitting again. He keeps smashing, and he gets another decent matchup with a righty, Ohtani, who's now a little bit pricey though. And
Yeah,
that
he's
one
up
other
to 5,600.
56, still in
Yeah.
play though. I mean, he's leading major leagues in home runs. Another play I think is going to be sneaky is Eric Hosmer. He's only 4.2. He's back now. And you look at his reverse. A lot of people are not going to be or look at him or be interested in today because it's going against his same hand in the matchup, but it's Justin Sheffield. And right now, he's actually, this season, he's hitting lefties better. I think he's hitting righties. 300 ISO, 462 WOBA, which is pretty close to elite numbers. 42% hard contact. So Hosmer may be more of a GPP play. He's not going to see ownership. I think Hosmer is a sneaky play here at first, at 4.2.
Yeah. That's a good call right there.
Anybody else you like?
I mean, you pretty much got them all. I mean, you can throw out my guy Rizzo. He's got a lefty righty matchup, and he actually has a couple home runs off of Michaelis, I believe. I think it was either him.
That's not a bad call. Because Michaelis don't strike people out. He's a righty. That could be like a little mini stack, like a Rizzo, Jock, even like Ian Happ who's starting to crush the ball, or put
Ian
Contreras
Happ's
in
my
there.
guy.
So, yeah, I like Ian Happ today too, especially his price. So yeah, I can dig Rizzo in there too. I do a projection sheet of my own, and I usually look at each position. I have like green of like any ISO over like 220, a Woba's over I think like 360, and like first base all green is Jared Walsh and Shohei Ohtani. I mean Bassett's a good pitcher. I think I've always liked Bassett, but he's not elite. He's more of a real life pitcher. But they're the guys that really jump out at me. But I really think with the way Vlad's hitting, I should be playing Vlad every night. I mean, we did all right last night. We used Crone. He was chalky. But Vlad just keeps hitting. I mean, especially he's below 6K now. I think if you have the money, you just go with Vlad. I mean, especially with the way the wind here, the way the wind's blowing. So we're looking right now. It looks like Diaz may be one of the chalky plays as cash because of the environment and price. If you don't want to go there, there's other ways to go. You got a nice call Rizzo and possibly Vlad, or go all the way down to like a Pujols.
Yeah.
All right, so second base. What we got?
Base, your guy Mike Bracero is way up, is about 10% above everybody else. He is at 27% ownership right now, and then you got Edmund at 19, and then Muncy and Simeon at 13 and 12.
So right now, Mike Bracero is standing out in our projections, and he was the other guy I brought up, and there's only a few batters from Tampa right now. Tampa is much better from the left side, but Bracero is one of the guys that can hit a lefty. 204 ISO, which isn't bad. He's going to be probably toward the bottom of the order. I mean, what's Bracero's
they got him
price?
projected at 6th.
I mean, 3K. I don't know if I want to pay that. I mean, he made a nice call the other night. I can't remember who it was. He had a BVP and he had another home run off him. So, I mean, Bracero is a decent hitter. Second base, though, other guys I'm looking at. I love the Muncy price. He's below 5K now. Smash spot. I mean, he's crushing. Jay Cronenworth, now his price has gone up, though. He's crushing. Last week, he's got 13 hits, leading all second baseman. 542 batting average last week. I like Cronenworth's in play. Marcus Semien, He's another one. If he had the salary, he just doesn't get out anymore. 11 hits in his past 5 games with 3 homers. So Semien is probably the top overall play down here. And we got Gavin Lux also starting to hit. He's got 5 hits in his last. He's got hits in 5 of his last 6. 3 of them are multi-hit games. So Lux is in play. Nobody really today jumps out. Like there's nobody that has got awesome numbers today at second base.
If you're playing FanDuel today, Simeon at 3,600 is the highest ownership on FanDuel.
Yeah, that's a lock.
Yeah.
All right, so FanDuel, yeah, you lock in Simeon. I don't have FanDuel up in front of me, so there you go. That's just a lock there. He's against lefties this year, 170 ISO, 317 Woba, but against McClanahan, who can also give up a long ball. I don't mind Semien. So there's nobody. I mean, I could see maybe Tommy Edman, but he's really not hitting the ball that well. Maybe you do pay down at second if you don't go with like a Semien. I'm just not sure about Brosio against. It all depends on. Problem is, I'm worried about if I start stacking all these Tampa guys in cash because Robbie Ray, like I said, can't come out and have one of his elite games, which he's done this year. So that's the scary part. Is to me, there's probably better locks to be. I'd rather play on the other side of the Toronto bats, but you're not gonna find too many that cheap either. So that's probably all there is. All I've seen so far, and I was digging in. I said Muncy and Semien up top, both in good spots. Cronenworth, middle range. He's like high 4s, totally on fire. And then a guy like Gavin Lux, or I guess Mike Brosseau. I'm adding him right now to my top plays. Brosseau, I guess, as your. He's not even a punt play actually. He's 3K, right? So
yeah.
So I guess you got to put Brosseau for the conversation. All right, second base is over. Going around the horn to third base. This is interesting. This is interesting position. There's a bunch of guys I like today to know who's our projections telling us is one of the higher owned guys.
All right. Well, we've already talked about Yandy and Mike Brosseau. So below those two, we don't have anyone other than them two over 20%.
Really?
We've got 2 guys that are in the teens. We got Machado and Devers at 16 and 18. And then everybody below that is at 10% or less than 10%.
All right. This is how I'm looking at it. To me, was once again, we're not going to be playing 2 10K pitchers. I think this is the Machado Tatis mini combination day. I really like San Diego tonight. They're on fire going against Justin Sheffield. Machado is struggling a little bit this year on the positive side of the split, but going back to 2019, he's crushed. He crushes that. He crushes the split. So I'm not worried about that. Rafael Devers. Devers is never seems to get a lot of ownership. And all he does is just keeps raking. He's hitting 470 ISO over the last week, and we know he hits right-handers. 395 ISO, 429 WOBA for Devers. That's my problem. I can't be messing with some of these small bats. I have Devers sitting there right now on fire. Arenado, Matt Chapman, probably a decent GPP play. My numbers haven't against seeing the ball right now, not Bundy, but I love the Machado Tatis call today. I think they're both in good spots for them. But what about Justin? We also got Justin Turner, right?
Yeah, Justin Turner's at 4-5 against the Giants in a bullpen game.
And he was a 6K player like 10 days ago. So a nice stay to get out of that little mini slump. So 4 or 5 is a really good price for Justin Turner. I'm all about Machado and Tatis today, back to back, those two. Or I guess just as well as a Devers Bogart stack, third and short. I don't want to pay down a short. Yeah, Devers Bogarts, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can either go Tatis and Machado or Bogarts Devers. I mean, either way, both of those games, they're 4.5, a little over 4.5 totals. But all 4 of those guys are in good spots.
And here's my problem all season when I get to these little mini stacks is I'm always a day early or a day late. You know what I mean? Like Thursday I played the Braves. I played Riley and all those guys, and then Friday they all go off. So right now I'm looking at Machado Tatis, so it'll probably be Bogarts and Devers go up. I think they're both in great spots. It's been more of a gut call all day about Machado Tatis, but I totally get the Devers Bogarts, and said just as good a play, maybe even better, going against two Howard for Red Sox going against Howard, who's actually a decent prospect, but still has a ways to go. And we got the Padres going up against Justice Sheffield, who's just right now at the kid's a gas can. So, and he's not going to be able to stay up with the way the Padres are starting. Padres are starting to hit now. We're starting to see the real Padres team. They're healthy. They've won, I think, 7 straight. You're going to see that Padres machine get rolling, and I want to be on it when it starts. While it's right in mid-gear. So,
yeah.
Any of you guys that are watching live, have any questions, just throw them in chat. And once again, yourfielderschoice.com, $35 a month, the first 6 months, all included, all sports. We have a lot going on today. I've seen on our chat, we have on our Discord, we have Xfinity. That might have already started though, but there's trucks for NASCAR, Aussie football, your KBO. Actually, it's a good time. How is your KBO doing right now?
Oh, we won again last night. It looked like we had a couple good scores. I mean, that's 2 or 3 nights in a when it's not raining, we're winning.
And there's a game tonight too, right? So they're off Sunday nights, right? So there's a game.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a game
Sunday
morning.
Tonight's slate is at midnight my time, 1:00 your time. Walt will be handling it tonight because I'll be gone. But I mean, he's awesome too. So.
And also, we're going to have I should have said this at the beginning of the show, and I didn't, but we're going to have a soccer, I believe, live stream tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's a big EPL day. It's the end of the season. All the teams are in play. So, soccer going on. Also, me and Walt are going to have a combo WNBA MLB show at noontime tomorrow. We're going to split that. We did that last Sunday, too. Worked out well. So, a lot going on here at YFC this weekend. So, we have a new NASCAR guy on staff. Who crushes. I see he's got some articles out. So his name's Big E. So stick with us. Go to our Discord. Join up. Everybody's crushing over here. Okay, so shortstop. Sorry, I had to get that out. What do we got?
Shortstop, you got Tatis. And then if you're punting, you got Chad Pinder. Edmund is at 19. Then you got Bo at 12.8 and Bogarts at 11.8. And that's the only ones over 10% with in the ownership. Yeah, I mean, you're right about Tatis. You should just lock him in and move on.
Yeah, he's been back, 2 games, 6 for 7, those 2 games, 4 extra base hits. He's locked in. You ride him. I mean, Bogarts, though, it doesn't matter what side the arm's coming at him. He's crushing righties also this year. 248 ISO, 427 WOBA. He's also hitting 350 on the season. Bogarts is definitely in play. Nice pivot, though, from Tatis if you use Tatis in cash. Definitely. Right. So Tatis is the play. I see Tommy Edman. You can use him at shortstop as a mid-level guy. We got Willie. What's Willie? Does Willie Adames show up in projections for Tampa?
He is. If he is, he's way down there.
So he's another guy I could see for Tampa if he gets the start today. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if actually Taylor Walls actually plays today. He's back up. He's up now, so maybe we won't see Adames.
It looks like they've got Wendell slated at shortstop today.
All right.
Or projected.
It may be Walls, though. They called him up yesterday, so either way. So here's a play, though, that I used him 2 nights. Once again, I used him 2 nights ago when I got screwed up, I think, with the Velasquez news. Chad Pinder for Oakland. He went crazy last night. 3 hits, home run, double. He's only 2-4. You can also use him in the outfield. I may end up using Pinder today just because that's a nice platoon spot. But Pinder is your punt play, I believe, at shortstop today. Beside that, it's a Tatis day. GPP, definitely. Brandon Crawford is one of the hottest hitters in baseball right now. I mean, he's 300 ISO, 421 WOBA against lefties. I mean, righties like Bueller. Crawford's having a career season right now. Totally on fire. I like him as a definite GPP pivot. But beside that, I said Bogarts and Tatis are your plays. We're not even talking about Bo Bichette down here too. Bichette is just, I mean, could end up with 2 home runs today too. Just as good spot as Bogarts or Tatis. That's why I like shortstop. And then your boy, what do you think? What's the deal? What do you think about Javi Baez today for the Cubs?
All right, Javi's gonna be boomer bust versus Michaelis. Career, he's 4 for 18, but 2 of those 4 hits are home runs, and he's got 4 RBIs. So he's either gonna hit a home run or he's gonna strike out.
Well, that's how. I mean, that's Baez, and
That's Javi though.
he's had 2 hits his last 3 hits his last 4, so 4 hits his last 5. I mean, he's hitting the ball. He had a home run against the Nats. That was 4 days ago. Good. I mean, I think he's a good spot against Michaelis. So I said Michaelis not a strikeout pitcher. Baez could definitely lose one. I don't be worried about there being on reverse splits there or anything like that. So, but GBP play. I think it's all about Tatis for cash. If you want to pivot in GBPs, you could go to Bogarts or Bo Bichette. They're all around the same price, and I think that's how you're going to run it. Because Tatis is going to be high owned. You have to. The guy's just stroking the ball. When Tatis is locked in, he's locked in.
Yeah, if you're playing cash, you got to lock Tatis in and just move on.
All right, so now we get to outfield. So we're probably going to find a little value somewhere. I got a couple guys in hand, but I'll let you talk about who's your top value at outfield. I believe you have a Cub.
All right. Ian Happ is my guy. I love the guy. He's probably one of my favorite players on the Cubs team. He can play any position, and right now he's just crushing the ball. Didn't he? I think he hit another home run last night, or it might have been the night before. Since he came back from his injury, they've moved him around in the lineup, but he is really hitting the ball as of late.
Yes, he is.
He's not showing a lot of ownership right now, but he's a switch hitter. After Michaelis comes in, regardless of what side of the plate, I mean, he's just a good all-around ball player.
And I was digging in a little earlier. In the month of May, he's batting .417. He's got 5 homers, 4 doubles, and the main thing is because he was striking out a pretty good clip in April. I mean, he just struggled in April. He's cut his strikeouts down by 10%. He's got multi-hit games now in each of his last 2 games. He had that double. He had the double dong day. That was the day game, right? That was, I think, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
So, and now we got a guy like Michaelis who hasn't thrown a pitch since 2019. To me, it's all set up for Ian Happ today. He's my top value in the outfield at 3.8. Way too cheap for Happ. He's too cheap for him any day. Let's go back.
Back in April, he was $4,500 to $5,000,
and he was striking out like crazy at a clip. So, and I stopped using him. So now's the time to get back on the train. He's hitting. If you're gonna pay up today in the outfield, what do our projections say for ownership? Anybody over like 20% right now?
Let's see. We got Manuel Margot at 25, Chad Pender 23, and then we got 3 guys at 19. We got Carlson, Verdugo, and Arozarena, and then the next below that you got Harper, and then it goes down from there.
Yeah, Margot scares me. I can never get Margot right. I see why he's gonna be on. He's gonna be up in that order, so I don't mind. I mean, I don't know. It's the Did we just lose Wes? Okay. Well, it's, I'll just keep going here. So we got my top player up there. I mean, JD Martinez having a great season, definitely a play. Bryce Harper, he's the only filling in that lineup, like you said earlier, that can hit. He's in a good spot against Eovaldi, but if you're using Eovaldi, you can't use Harper. You know who's having just a crushing year is Ramon Laureano. Especially against. Now, here's my thing, and Myron Kidd just asked that question: if Bundy or Sandoval pitching for the Angels, I have like 3 different sources, and I'm seeing both Bundy or Sandoval. Because if it's Sandoval, Laureano is crushing lefties, 308 ISO, 460 WOBA, 365 batting average. He's totally crushing. but I don't think it really matters because the Angels bullpen right now is a 5.05 ERA. We're bottom like 4 or 5 in the league, and this is what puts me all over Laureano today. So I don't think it's confirmed yet. I said I'm seeing Bundy in his places and seeing the wall, but I don't think it even matters. I'm all over Ramon Laureano today. I think he's having an awesome season. Just looking at his recently, he had another bomb last night in a double. 3 days before that, he had the 2 home run game against the Astros, and his price it's manageable. It's a 5.2, so I like Laureano. I think another guy's gonna be low owned. Only 4.6 is Mitch Haniger. Haniger's, one of the top home run leaders in baseball. He's got 333 ISO going up against lefties. Haniger's in a good spot. Definitely Randy Arozarena for Tampa. I can see him in the main lineup. Then you got the 2 Tampa guys, Tio, Hernandez, and Grichuk, both with the exact same stats, both in the middle of the order, going against McClanahan, so they're in play. So there's a nice bunch of middle range outfield guys that I like. Dylan Carlson is really cheap still. You can always play him. Alex Verdugo, batting second, get the positive split. Is anybody beside Hap that's jumping out at you?
No, you've knocked off all the guys that I'm on too. Other than Hap at 38, way down there in the he's way down in ownership. Like Rosarina sticks out against in a righty lefty matchup. It looks like they're going to have him leading off tonight. Then you got Jock Peterson leading off in a lefty righty matchup, and your guy Randall Grichuk is in a positive platoon again tonight.
Yeah,
he's actually kind of pricey at 4,500.
And Grichuk and Tio are at the same price. If you put their stats side by side, they're like the exact same. 280 ISO, 278 ISO, 421 WOBA, 442 WOBA. I'd probably lean Tio because he's usually batting cleanup. It's $300 more though. I like to have one of them in my lineup. So you could definitely have a lineup today of guys in the mid fours. Arozarena, I think, is a good play today. I think he can definitely hit Ray in Dunedin. The other one is Tommy Pham. He's only hitting now. He's not hitting this year. He's down to 3K though. He did have, I think, 2 hits last night, so maybe his stroke is coming back. But he's in a great spot. He's probably going to be up in the order today against the lefty Sheffield. So maybe you get some volume with Pham, maybe get some lightning in the bottle to him. This kid Jonathan Davis for Toronto playing down here in Florida. He may be sneaky. He's got hits now in 2 straights. He's shown he can hit lefties. Davis is minimum price maybe. So there's plenty of value today, but we could probably run a Machado, Tatis. Not sure about getting Vlad in the order, but we can get a couple big sticks here. All right. Anybody else any sneaky calls? Anybody stats you like?
Stack tonight, I think Boston tonight is probably going to be a lower owned stack with the Toronto and Tampa Bay. I think Boston will probably be a lower owned stack that I like.
I like that. I actually just got done writing up my top GPP calls. We hit them last night. We had the Twins as our top call last night. Of course, the Twins went off, and we had the Reds. The Reds went off. Today, my top, I got the Dodgers. I like. We pretty much got over with going against Tropiano, Matt Weissler, and Casimir. All those guys are in play. And I also said the Padres. Winners 7 straight. The Mariners have lost 4 straight. Padres are crushing right now. They're rolling on all cylinders. So, beside Dunedin, I like Dodgers, Padres. You like Red Sox. Definitely like the Red Sox stack. My problem is when I play them, they don't go off. The next day they go off. So, you pretty much got to play the Red Sox every day, I think.
Yeah.
And right now, I really don't have a core right now. I'm probably going to be like a Bueller, Tatis, Machado. Still going back and forth on Devers, but I like that little combo of Machado and Tatis together. That's probably what my core maybe. It's going to probably change as the day goes on. Prize picks. I looked up price picks real quick because I was trying to finish my top plays. I'll go through that real quick again right now. I did notice a couple of guys I think that did seem to be a little bit too low. And just looking at fantasy scores, I noticed a couple of guys. Ramon Laureano is only 6'5". Now, once again, if we know Sandoval is starting, I think you take the over on Ramon Laureano 6.5. Kyle Lewis 5.5 could be over for Seattle. That's kind of low. Arozarena 6.5. I think he's gonna hit him. And Vlad is also Vlad's a 6.5, while Gianni Diaz is a 6. Take Vlad, take Arozarena on the over is 6.5, definitely. Jared Walsh is only 6 fantasy score. You can go over on Jared Walsh, who's one of our favorites here, crushing them all. Single stat. You seeing these guys having 2 hits today? You see is Hap on here? Let's see if Ian Happ is here. No, they have for the Cubs they have Rizzo and Bryant. See any of those guys having more than 1.5 hits walks?
Rizzo, I would go with Rizzo plus the 1.5. I would go the over on Rizzo, definitely.
Here's one, Mike Brochio, 0.5 hits walks. So the projections are all calling for Brochio of a decent game going against Ray. Maybe take the over under on Brochio. All he needs is a hit or a walk, and you made your over 0.5.
Right.
That's something you don't usually see a 0.5 on baseball too much. I would probably take that, especially if he's in a good spot in the order. There you go. That's my call. 0.5 before that. So if any of you guys play price picks before they pop that up, I would probably take that 0.5 hits walks.
Yeah.
All right. Any of you guys in the room watching live have any questions about today? If not, said we have a 4 p.m. 7 gamer. Now I'm all confused. 7 game, right? At 4 p.m. 6 gamer at 7. Devin's going to have cheat sheet out.
7 at 4, 7 at 4, 6 at 7.
Okay. Devin's going to have a cheat sheet out. I'm not sure about a top plays, but just go by our cheat sheet. It says the best in the business. Can't go wrong. We have a lot going on. WNBA tomorrow. We have a show tomorrow morning. We'll advertise, I believe it's like 8:30 or so for soccer for the EPL finals. It's going to be live here on YouTube with our man V12 Adam, who is a soccer expert. Noon is going to be me and Walt doing WNBA and MLB. And so we have a NASCAR going on. Wes's KBO going on tonight. Korean baseball. A lot going on. So if that's it, if there's no questions, thank you, Wes. It was a pleasure. It's nice to have a partner here today. So everybody's sick of hearing my voice.
Let's knock it out of the park tonight.
And good luck to your son today in his states. Hope we get some good mojo going there. And that's it. We are out of here.
Right.
Deuces.
Later.